want to talk to you about building wealth. Specifically, I want to share with you the three major components you have to have in your wealth building strategy to actually build wealth. Today is Labor Day, and I thought it would be very fitting to help inform, inspire, and illustrate to anyone who is motivated to learn how to start removing some of the labor from their day. Most people have to work for each day that they want to earn. The idea of working 8 hours for an 8-hour wage is thought of as normal, reasonable, and what one should expect out of their career. However, after working for myself, owning my own companies, and working straight commission my whole life, there are two major truths I've come to recognize. Number one, you can earn to the degree you're willing to learn. And number two, wealth comes from execution on a proven strategy and not from effort in a popular system. You see, it's very popular to punch a clock, go to work for Company X, settle for what they say you're worth, do what they tell you to, when they tell you to, work with who they tell you to, and expect what they tell you to. Just ask any of your broke, busted, and disgusted friends who hate their jobs. Or ask your more affluent, college-educated friends with high student loans that are slaves to both an industry and college debt who hate their jobs, insecure about constant macro shifts in the economy and their specific industry. You see, no matter who you ask, the low income or the high income, the educated or the undereducated, they all have the same problem. They don't own their careers. They don't own their future. They have no control of what happens tomorrow in their place of employment. So if you're looking for what's popular, then follow the masses off into the desert of disappointment, disillusionment, and despair. Just please do me this one favor. Don't complain about the small percentage of us, say the 1%ers of us, that choose a different path. So tonight, let me propose a different idea. Not a new one, just a different one that has helped me and thousands of others grow true wealth. Now, don't check out on me, and I can hear someone saying, oh, great, here we go again. Another get-rich-quick multi-level marketing pitch by some so-called internet guru. No, actually, it's quite the opposite. First, I want to tell you right up front, and what I'm going to show you has nothing to do with MLM or network marketing. As a matter of fact, it really has nothing to do with joining any business at all. It has to do with three key components that you need to add to the current business you are in or the current business that you're trying to build. No matter what business you're in or trying to build, you must have these three components fully operational in them and what you're doing if you ever hope to try to build wealth. Now, let's define the term. What is wealth? At least, what do I mean by it when I say wealth? You know, I believe that wealth isn't a matter of the amount of money you have, but the ability of the money you have. Let me say it again. Wealth is not about the amount of money you have, but the ability of the money that you have. If you're still working for your money rather than having your money work for you, then who owns who? Wealth has three major components to it, and without these three components, I believe it can't be called wealth. It's called something else. Number one, you have to have a margin of income. If I have true wealth when I'm no longer working for every dime that I make, but my dimes are working for me. True wealth has margin of income. I'm not just getting by, but I'm thriving. I'm not just paying the bills, but I'm paying the bills, putting money back, and having money to enjoy life. Number two, I need to have a margin of time. Income with no freedom of time is not wealth. It's just a larger income. Many professions provide high incomes because they are more difficult tasks that require higher skills, more sophisticated thinking, and a greater degree of understanding to perform. However, the moment the professional stops performing those tasks, the income stops. This makes the professional a slave to time, and more difficult than that, it's usually on someone else's schedule. So you got to have a margin of income, you got to have a margin of time. You also have a margin of obligation. And what I mean by that, the third element of true wealth is when I'm not only making good money on my time, but I'm doing what I love to do, not what I'm obligated to do. So many times you will see people who have reached a certain level of success in their money and time still unhappy and unfulfilled because they hate what they do. Everything they are doing is because they feel obligated or they are obligated to do in order to keep the business going. So if you're doing something you hate but have free time and good money, you still don't have what I call wealth. So how do you start building wealth? How do you start positioning what you do in your business to build wealth? You first have to understand where wealth comes from to understand how to build, cultivate, and grow it. Wealth comes from this ancient word that most people just conflate with being smart, knowledgeable, or something to do with intellectualism. However, the word wisdom has nothing to do with how smart you are, what degrees you hold, or your IQ. Wealth comes from wisdom. Wisdom has to do with how to apply what you know. In other words, do you know how to take what you know and apply it to a given situation? It has nothing to do with knowing the most, being trained the most, or having the most esteemed pedigree of certification. It has to do simply with taking what I know, whatever amount that is, and applying it in a given situation to perform and to produce value. Let me give you a quick example. You're going to love this. I was asked to accompany a bagpipe player at a funeral. This has been years ago. And he was going to play Amazing Grace. Now, the bagpipe, it'll be written in the key of D. A lot of people think they're in D, but they're actually sharp on one end, flat on the other end. And it turns out typically concerts pitch a bagpipe, especially from northern Scotland and those areas, the Highlands, they're typically in E flat. Well, I was a young keyboard player at the time, well, not very sophisticated and all the nuances of how to play different arrangements and different things and then in different keys especially. I'd always played Amazing Grace in F and then modulated to G. That's just the way I'd always played it. Well, this gentleman was in somewhere between D and E flat. And so I had to figure out, how am I going to accompany this guy? Because they were wanting me to put a string patch behind this bagpipe player playing at this funeral at this church. What just so happened, I knew this keyboard. I knew the keyboard. I knew how to transpose the keyboard. And because I knew the pitch on that bagpipe was sharp on one end, flat on the other end, I knew I needed to stay in the middle register of that keyboard. So I transposed it down 2.5 steps, or 2 half steps, and put it from F. I'm playing in F, but I transposed the keyboard down to where it sounds like it's playing in E flat. And I play it in the key I know, staying in the middle register, not using my left hand, not going up on the top, and just putting a nice string pad back behind that. That is called wisdom. That's called, I don't know how to play in every key. I'm not that sophisticated. I'm not the most educated. I'm not the most credentialed a piano keyboard player. I am no Mozart here. But I had 3 minutes to make a terrible situation thrown at me work. And so thinking on my feet and taking what I knew about a song and an instrument, I was able to take that information and make a wise decision on how to make it work before people started coming into this service. And so that is how I used wisdom to create value. That wisdom equals wealth. So if wealth comes from learning how to apply what I know, or wisdom, then how do I develop or gain wisdom? You have to go where wisdom begins. Wisdom is a process. You don't wake up one day and know how to take everything you know and apply it in a way that brings you wealth. You have to start becoming wise. You have to start at the beginning of where wisdom originates and then build upon it. Now, for many people who share my faith, know a very popular passage written by the wealthiest man in recorded history. His name is Solomon. He wrote, "The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom." This statement is key whether you share my faith or not. What he is literally saying is the reverent understanding of how the universe works and operates is where the ability to apply what you know begins. So if you want to know how to apply your knowledge to increase wealth, then get a greater and deeper understanding of how the world operates. And it's governed. Not how you want it to work, not how you think it should work, not how you wished it would work, but how it actually works. And the thing that keeps us from seeing how the world works is lies. Lies that we all buy into from time to time. It keeps us from gaining the wisdom to design our business in a way that will build wealth. So there are multiple ways to build a business in a wise manner, but here is the way I have built my business, and I recommend others to do the same. I believe this model that I'm about to show you will give you margin in both your life, in money, time, and what you do. Like I said at the beginning, to me, that is true wealth. So here are the three income strategies that you have to have in place in your business if you want to be fully effective and building true wealth. Number one, you have to have a passive income stream. I get paid for the work I do when I did the work once, and then I just get paid off of it from there on after. I have a perpetual income stream. I get paid in a measurable, consistent stream indefinitely. And then I get paid doing what I love to do. I'm passionate. So my three income streams here at TW3, if you want to know how does Terry get paid, I get paid in a passive way, a perpetual way, and I get paid to do what I love, my passions. And so I want to break that down. Passive, how am I building passive income? I've got different tools like blogs, podcasts, and videos that you see me put out. So I do this podcast one time, I do this video one time, I do this blog one time. It has content on there that I'm getting paid either by third parties or through direct sales or some other means. So that's how my passive come. Perpetual income is when I have members that come on, I have RMPs that pay me a perpetual income consistently over and over, or I have subscription offers that I'm making that I get paid. You know, I'm still making money off of a perpetual income, off of insurance products I sold years ago. Okay. I sold that policy one time 10 years ago, and I'm still to this day, month after month, getting paid off of that. So that's my passive, that's my perpetual, and then my passion. If you notice, I love entrepreneurialism. I love sports and music. I love mindset and ministry content. So I'm constantly, that's what I'm giving. So I've got a passive component, I've got a perpetual component, and it's all done in the context of what my passions are. So this is all philosophical. So let me get into a real world example. I've got three here. Number one, it was a couponing podcast I did several years ago. It was 6 or 7 years ago that I did. And that particular podcast was done at one time. In the time it's been out, it's netted me somewhere over $40,000 now. And this is how it's been downloaded by hundreds of thousands of people. The offer for free coupons has been taken advantage of by thousands of people. Some of those people became members here at TW3. Many of those people became resellers that became members, became resellers of TW3. So that is me working one time to build a podcast that I was passionate about, helping people save money because it was things my wife learned and I've seen her do. And so I was just sharing. And I get paid passively through my referral marketing partners because I'm giving those coupon offers away. That pays me. I got members to come on that are now TW3 members, and I'm getting a percentage each month off of their activity here as far as them owning the platform. And then some of those folks became resellers, so I get a percentage through that process as well. So that's one way. Here's another one. I had a podcast where I was teaching on negotiating. As a matter of fact, it's the number one podcast here at TW3 that I did about 2 or 3 years ago, and it was on how to negotiate. And the whole premise was don't manipulate, negotiate. And there's a distinction, and most people get into manipulation, and it undermines their negotiating skills. And there's a conflation that's taught in sales throughout our industry, and it kills a lot of people. And I go into that, and it got picked up by several real estate companies, insurance companies, and car salespeople in those industries, and it became viral in a lot of ways. And that one piece of content that I created has netted me so much recruiting for people in that space that it has been a huge component of TW3, a huge asset. I did it one time. The book I wrote a book. A few thousand copies have been sold. More I have been given away. I've sold 1,000 or so and given 1,000 or so away. It's been about 4,000 copies that's gone out, either sold or given away. It's created a value for our brand, our members, and our message. All of this was done once. I wrote that book one time, and that creates and aids and abets in the creation of a passive perpetual income here at TW3, and all in the context of things that I'm passionate about. Now, I know what a lot of you say, so it's great to have all these tools to create. It's great that I did all of these things on these platforms that I'm passionate about. These tools help me, as you can see, create a lot of wealth. However, the secret sauce that I have at TW3 and I offer in our training and our tools is it's great to have content. It's great to talk about, write about, create videos about. It's great to do things in your business that you're passionate about. But if you don't have people consuming it, if you're not in front of people, if they're not watching it, then it's all for naught. So I can hear some of you say, yeah, well, that's great, Terry, just great. I appreciate you flexing on all of us. But if you think that you've missed my greater point, everything I just spoke about and illustrated, you can do too. People just like you, for over 1 decade, I've been helping others all over the world really take their money business life to new levels. Some were on the verge of bankruptcy. Some were in divorce court having their lives shattered in front of everyone to see. Some were trying to survive cancer at the time, and one that particular member I'm thinking about was living under a bridge down in New Orleans at the time with her daughter when we first made contact with her. We've helped thousands of people in the last 12 years. I don't know you. I don't know your story. You could be the greatest in the greatest season of your life right now. You could be doing okay, or you could be doing terrible. I don't know. However, I know this. Wherever you are right now, I'm sure you would like to do better. If you're making lots of money, I could safely guess based on statistics, you're doing so on the schedule and maybe in the area that someone else has chosen for you. If you're like the majority of our clients, you might be surviving, but you're definitely not thriving. 98% of Americans do not have all three areas of margin, that is income, time, and obligation, fully implemented and operational in their careers and personal lives. So if you're wondering how you can take your passions, what you're passionate about, and inject it into your current business so you can execute on some strategies that will create a wise business model that will create wealth, margin, and enjoyment for your life, then here's all you got to do. You can contact us at terrywilson3.com or call 800-673-1728. We've got coaches that will help you. And we're not talking about joining another business. Maybe you need some tools that we have to infuse into your business to make it work. Maybe you don't have a business at all. Like I said, I don't know you. I don't know where you're at. But I can tell you this, you can start turning the labor you're doing today into passive perpetual income in areas of your life that you're passionate about if you have the right tools, training, and technology that will help you get there. See, I have found it's not a matter of desire. It's not a matter of want to. It's not a matter of hope, dreams, and wishes. People are rich with that. Where they're anemic, where they need help, is the how-to, the direction, the strategy, the tools, the means, the method, the mechanism that will help them take what they've got in their hands. And for some people, they don't even know. They don't even appreciate. They don't get that they have immense value living on the inside of them. They just don't know how to get that out and create value with it for others so that they can create wealth. That's why I wrote a book, You're Worth More, because it goes into how you can take what's on the inside of you and turn it into something that's of value to other people, creating value for you. If you need help, you can call 800-673-1728. That's 800-673-1728. or go to terrywilson3.com. I've got coaches that will give you a 15-minute session for free to show you how you can take your money, business, and life to new levels.